Hello everyone, my name is Sarafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And today we had the ban list revealed finally, so everyone's excited. Let's go ahead and talk about the ban list and about the skill changes, and we'll take a look and see how this is going to impact the game moving forward. So first, we have some skills, and these skills are going to go live on July 4th. So, most of these are buffs. Contract Fabled has been changed so that you can special summon from your opponent's graveyard. It did not allow that before. This is important because of Fabled and Wraith, which allows you to summon a monster from your opponent's graveyard if they send a card from their hand to the graveyard. It has synergy with another card that Fabled has, which allows people to discard a card if they want to negate its effect. So this will make Fabled feel fairer. I kind of wish they did this for the Sun Avalon skill as well, because decks that should be able to special summon from the graveyard, like Sky Strikers and Fabled, should be able to special summon from the graveyard. So it's fine that it got changed for Fabled. Hopefully Fabled players can make better use of their cards. Tachyon Dragon Domination has been changed. So, first of all, they have changed it so that you can use the third effect, which is the set a card from outside your deck to your field, once per turn instead of once per duel. Very nice. They also changed it so that during your main phase, you can play one level 8 dragon monster that can be normal summon from your hand to your field but negate its effects. So this is what the skill did before. This is a pretty significant buff. It allows you to get more easily accessible 2 rank 8s on turn 1, which is kind of the point. This is fine. You know, you still can't make Felgran because Felgran is still limit 1, along with Dragon Domination, and you also still have to make your number 107, which makes the deck still worse going second, and you're setting a card so that your opponent knows exactly where the Tachyon Transmigration is. It's not a free removal in addition to the other 3 removal that you set. This is completely fine. This deck will not be as good as it was before, but it will be playable now, and I think that's great. Synchro Storm Rays has changed to give an additional 500 attack. So it gives 300 attack normally and 800 attack if there is a Wind Synchro monster or a Wind monster and a Synchro monster on your field and in your graveyard. That's great. That's fantastic. So 800 attack points is a significant buff. You will play this. You will be happy that you're using it with Synchros. It's basically just a free Speedroid Card Turbo effect, which is crazy. Same thing for Xyz Light Rays and Link Earth Rays. 300 attack normally, 500 attack if you are playing the right deck. And Dark Rays. So all these skills much better than they were before. Next up we have Tuning in the Sky, and Tuning in the Sky got destroyed. So first of all, you can only use the skill's effects if your extra deck does not contain any monsters with the same name. That's a huge nerf. It means that you can't play 2 copies of Pluto, which means that your ability to follow up after turn 1 is significantly weakened. You cannot normal or special summon monsters except for the Agent monsters, Hyperion monsters, Synchro monsters, and normal monsters. That means that you can't play Sky Surge and Midstill, and also means that you can't play Man-Throw Trope. Fair. During your main phase, send 1 the Agent monster from your deck to the graveyard. Okay, so now you can't send 2 copies of Agent's monsters to the graveyard. That is a significant change. It makes the deck a lot less consistent, and it means that it's easier for you to stop someone with a card like DD Crow. Then you can apply the following effect. Shuffle 1 Hyperion monster from your hand to the deck, then add 1 Hyperion monster or 1 the Agent of Creation Venus from your deck to your hand. That's huge. So now you can't shuffle normal monsters, you have to shuffle a Hyperion, and it doesn't let you draw agents. It lets you draw Hyperions or Venus. So you can't draw Neptune. It allows you to draw Venus, and then you have to waste your normal on Venus, which is a huge nerf. That's way worse than it was before. And additionally, you might not have noticed this, but it doesn't add the Sanctuary in the Sky to your deck anymore. Which means if you want to use Neptune to search the Sanctuary in the Sky, you have to hard draw Neptune, and you have to be playing Sanctuary in the Sky in your deck. That's 2 very significant nerfs. You do not want to play the Sanctuary in the Sky. It's a bad card. It just enables all your other cards. So yeah, this is just a massacre. Then during your main phase, choose 1 fairy monster on your field and treat that monster as a tuner. So the second effect had gotten heavily nerfed. First of all, you don't shuffle fairy monsters back in your deck, which means you can't reuse your Mystical Shine Ball, and you're only getting 1 tuner instead of 2. That's huge. This is completely killed this deck. There are other nerfs that we're going to see in the ban list, but this is a slaughter of this deck. It's terrible. So we'll see what agents look like after this, but we'll have to take a very close look and see if that's even worth playing anymore. All right, that is all the skill changes. Let's go ahead and look at the ban list. Okay, so we're going to start out with 3 forbidden cards. A huge number of forbidden cards. It's almost doubling the forbidden list. Samsara Lotus. This card will be forbidden as it enables a dual-winning combo on turn 1 when going first through an endless cycle of destruction and special summoning to inflict effect damage. If you guys have never seen this, you basically use, I think it's Trickstar Devardis and Nightmare Cerberus and Topologic Bomber Dragon in a very specific order where they all co-link to protect themselves from being destroyed, and then you just revive Samsara Lotus over and over again. It keeps getting destroyed by Topologic Bomber Dragon, and then it comes back because it has its effect to come back, and Devardis like burns your opponent for 100 each time. That's the deck. It's terrible. This has been around for a while. I don't know why they're only responding to it now, but okay, fair enough. Bad reaction to Smochi. This card will be forbidden as it enables a dual-winning combo at the start of turn 2 when going first, as long as the player has this card and certain cards that recover the life points of the opponent to inflict effect damage. Yes, technically that's true. This card is a lot worse than Dark Lord Marie, but, I mean, you could still technically pull off the combo with just Samochi, so I suppose enough people were doing that, they felt like they had to be in it. And then Heatwave. This card will be forbidden as it is difficult to counter and is currently being used in Blue Eyes decks to one-sidedly summon monsters while suppressing the opponent's ability to do so. Sure, they ban Heatwave because they can't figure out how to deal with it. That's understandable. Overall, solid change from the forbidden list. Let's take a look at the limit ones. Ophion and Rank Up Magic Launch have been limited to 1 each, specifically so that they can't be used outside of Elswarm decks. Fair. I mean, that means that PKs can't use Rhoda anymore, but, I mean, they have enough Surge to begin with. They'll be fine. So Ophion being out of PK is pretty significant. It means that they'll have to go with a different turn 1 end board. I don't think there's like a really good option other than Ophion, because they can't activate more than one effect monster's effect per opponent's turn. So summoning something like Evil Swarm Nightmare will not benefit you in any major way. I imagine that what they'll probably do is they'll probably make a monster that has some sort of interruption, like Nightmare, and then they will save their Rank Up Magic Launch or their Rank Up Magic Force and just use it as interruption, making like maybe Dark Rebellion or Arc Rebellion, and then using the Raider's Unbreakable Mind to destroy a card in the opponent's field as their second form of interaction. That's probably what will happen. It's not going to be as good, but it'll be something. AFD. AFD has been limited. That's understandable. AFD was banned for a long time. I think everyone saw this coming. This is a UR from main box. This is the first time a UR from main box has been hit with something other than a limit 3, but, you know, that's fine. This is not a card that you need to play more than one of. It is unfortunate that like a dedicated Ancient Fairy Dragon deck can't play limit 1 cards, but there's not really a dedicated Ancient Fairy Dragon deck anyway, if we're being honest. So I think that's fine. Herald of Green Light. That is a huge change. So the deck that the agents can't search Herald of Green Light anymore, which is really rough. They also can't search also can't make Infernoble Knight Captain Roland or Sky Surge Invincible. So 3 limit 1s designed to hit agents. It's rough for Infernoble players. Infernoble players have been complaining all day that they can't play Rhoda anymore. Too bad. Heritage is at 3. You can play Heritage. You don't need to play Rhoda too. But Captain Roland, I guess, because agents were making Charles before they started playing Sky Surge Invincible, they're doing this preemptively. I don't see what the problem is. I feel like Charles was a completely fair target for agents, so I don't know why they're concerned about agents making Charles. That's just fair interaction. But regardless, it's been nerfed. Hopefully it comes off the ban list soon. Overflow. Overflow has been moved to limit 1. So you can play 2 copies of Cyberload Fusion and 1 copy of Overflow. Okay, so this is a buff to pure Sidra. However, a lot of Sidra players these days are playing Constellar Pleiades, myself included. So it's possible that all this does is it lets you play 2 copies of Fusion and no copies of Overflow. I still think that's probably fine. Yes, Overflow is a very, very good card. No, I'm not saying that's not, but Fusion is kind of what the deck is supposed to do. So I'm okay with, getting rid of the non-targeted destruction if it means I can play more copies of Fusion monsters in my Fusion deck. So I think this is a positive overall. And I'm hoping that Konami gives Cider some support to help with this. Summon Breaker has been limited to 1. That's why the AFD got limited to 1. It's completely fine. RIP Sky Striker players. Gup of Ace has been limited to 1. Good. That will make FTKs a lot harder in the future. Limit 2. World Legacy's Memory has been moved from Limit 3 to Limit 2 so people can play it alongside Purple Nightfall. That's fine. You were never playing more than 2 copies of Memory anyway. Mech Knights are not strong. This is completely okay. Limit 3. Into the Void. That is a significant change. So Sky Strikers can't play this alongside Mind Control anymore, which is good. Hopefully they just stop playing Mind Control. I don't have a problem with this. Into the Void is an old card. It's okay that it's got limited 3 because it's being used for mostly degenerate FTK decks. Rapid Trigger. This is the only rocket nerf on the list. Fair. Rapid Trigger, not really the card I was expecting. Furious is not really that strong of a card in Rockets. Yes, it wins some games, but for the most part, the Riot Dragon is the card that's really making waves. But Riot is kind of the point of the deck, so I don't know that they want to limit it. Levianeer is the real outlier here. I feel like they should have just stopped the Levianeer altogether. But Rapid Trigger does mean that you can't play like 2 copies of Levianeer and 1 Ibly. So that's a win, I guess. Cards from the Sky. Okay, Cards from the Sky is limited 3, along with Into the Void. So just no more of the Dark Lord FTK, even though both the cards that allowed you to Dark Lord FTK have been banned. Fair enough. Unlimits. BLS. Excellent. BLS did never deserve to be limited. BLS was never that strong. It was an annoying deck, but the primary reason that it was annoying was because it was playing a bunch of back row. And limiting BLS to 3 did not fix that. So this is fine. I look forward to this. I am surprised that they didn't unnerf Chaos Form as well. Weird. But regardless, this is good. World Legacy World Crown. This got released at Limit 3 and no one played it because it was in a selection box. It's fine. I mean, Crusadia can play this card and it'll be okay. But I don't really think that Crusadia is a contender even with this card at 3. So, unfortunate. It came too late. Skill Prisoner. The Skill Prisoner was limited because of Beatrice. Now it's unlimited. You can banish this card from the graveyard, target 1 card you control this turn. When any monster effect resolves, it targets that card at activation, negate the effect. That's pretty cool, but it's not that powerful. There are other cards you can mill with Beatrice, so this card is amazing. Glad that people can start experimenting with it. Machina Citadel, great. Machina definitely needs the help. This will allow them to play other Limit 3 cards, like maybe Ice Dragon's Prison or Crackdown. So Machina could be really good after this. And Vessel, so Tenyi is now completely unlimited. That's fine, Tenyi's not good anymore anyway. Alright, that's everything. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. My name is Sarafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.